Would you like to have more peace and happiness in your life? Do you know the one thing you have to do before you can get it? I'll have the answer coming up in a minute. Hi, I'm Eric with ericdieter.com. I'm an entrepreneur, an author, a life coach, and I live my life from the inside out, and I'm helping you do the same. Hey, if you're new here, click the subscribe button down below and the bell for notifications, because that way you won't miss out on the good stuff. What would you do to get more peace and happiness in your life? What's the hardest thing you could think of? Would you do that? What I talk about here on YouTube is how to live your life from the inside out. This is the second video in the series of the 3 core elements for what it means to live your life from the inside out. If you missed the first video, click the box in the upper right and you can watch it now. Living from the inside out means that who you are inside creates the life that you have right now. So if you want to have peace and happiness in your life, those things have to be inside of you. See, here's the thing. You will be offended in this life. Sometimes people will lie to you. Sometimes people will cheat you. Sometimes people will say things to hurt you. Sometimes by accident, oftentimes on purpose. You will be offended. You will be hurt. People are not going to always be nice to you. And you will get pissed off, angry, fed up, and you have a right to be. When people are mean to you, being angry is a natural response. And it's right to be angry when people hurt you. They shouldn't act that way. But here's the thing. You can't control what other people do to you. The only thing you can control is how you respond. And if you hang on to your anger and continue to keep it, that anger will end up hurting you, not them. And if you hang on to your anger long enough, it turns into bitterness, and that bitterness will not only make you miserable, it will wreck your health. So what do? Here's the hard thing. No matter what has been done to you, you forgive. Here's the important thing to remember. Forgiveness is a gift that you give to yourself. It doesn't matter whether the person that hurt you was sorry. It doesn't matter if they deserve your forgiveness. It doesn't matter whether they did it on purpose or not. You still have to forgive for yourself, not for them. You see, it's not about them. It's about you. Holding on to bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. What happens is when you replay that hurt over and over and over, that person who hurt you did it to you once, but by you remembering it and continuing to dwell on it, you're hurting yourself. It's not them hurting you anymore, it's yourself, because you feel the same emotions from a memory as you do from an actual event. The person who hurt you, the person who offended you, may have done it once. Maybe they've done it again, but by continuing to dwell on it, continuing to remember it, you feel those same emotions, you're hurting yourself. It's not them doing it anymore. It's you doing it to yourself. So you don't forgive for their benefit. You forgive for your benefit. So how do you go about forgiving someone who has offended you or hurt you? I'm going to give you 5 steps that will help. Number 1, decide. You look at what it costs you and you make the decision, I can't continue to keep this any longer. I have to forgive. Number 2, write down what happened, how you were offended, how you were hurt, and how you feel. Put it on a piece of paper. Number 3, read what you wrote out loud. Number 4, say out loud, I love myself enough that I choose to let go of this pain. Number 5, burn the paper. Do it safely, someplace where you're not going to burn down your whole house, but burn it. Once you've gone through these 5 steps, you may have to go through it again. How do you know you've forgiven someone? You know when you can remember what they did without feeling the anger associated with how you were offended or how you were hurt. If you still have the feelings of hurt, if you still feel angry, go through the 5 steps again. It will take maybe a couple of times, but do it until the hurt is gone. You do it for yourself, not for them. Here are some important things to remember about your choice to forgive. It doesn't mean that you say what they did to you is okay. It doesn't mean that you forget what happens. It doesn't mean that you blindly trust that person again. And it doesn't mean that they get off the hook. It doesn't mean they may have to face some consequences for their actions, but no matter what happens, no matter how you are hurt, you have to forgive. Let me give you an example from something I heard on the news just this week. I saw a husband being interviewed, and his wife was killed in this shooting. And he said, "I forgive this man, not because he deserves it, but because I know what holding on to that kind of hatred will do to me." So I ask you again, what will you do to live a life of peace and happiness? Will you do the hardest thing that you can think of? I hope you never have to forgive something as horrible and gut-wrenching as someone who has killed a person that you love. But it doesn't matter how bad we've been hurt. The process is the same, and the feelings and the resistance is the same. We don't want to do it. We want to demand justice. We want to get revenge. That rises up inside of us, that hatred. And if you allow that hatred and that burning passion of fire to continue, it will consume you. We're not designed to hold on to that kind of anger. Remember, forgiveness is a gift that you give to yourself. The next video in this series tells the third core element of what it means to live from the inside out. Click in the upper right corner to go see it now. If you haven't subscribed yet, click the red button and the notification bell, and I will see you next time.